You know how it is. We pour so much energy into our gardens, enjoying them all day long under that bright, beautiful sun. But then, what happens when the sun goes down? For most of us, the garden just kind of vanishes into the darkness, right? All that color and life just gone until the next morning. But what if you're missing out on like half the show? What if sunset isn't the end of your garden's performance, but it's actually the beginning of a spectacular second act? So let's explore this absolutely magical concept called a moon garden. We're talking about a space that is literally designed to come alive at night, glowing, shimmering, and filling the air with the most incredible fragrances you can imagine. So what is a moon garden exactly? Well, it's a garden that uses a special palette of plants. Think whites, pale yellows, silvers that capture and reflect any available moonlight, creating this amazing luminous landscape. But here's the best part. It's more than just beautiful for us. It serves a super important ecological role by feeding nature's night shift, all those amazing pollinators who get to work right when we're going to bed. And this isn't just about making things look pretty. There's some really fascinating science at play here. It all comes down to how different creatures see the world after the lights go out. The difference in vision is pretty wild. During the day, you've got bees and butterflies navigating this vibrant world of bright colors. But at night, for moths and beetles, all that color is basically useless. In fact, they can't even see reds or oranges. They need a completely different set of signals to find their way around. To get the attention of this night crew, plants use two main tools. First up is reflected light. Those white and pale flowers act like tiny little beacons in the dark. Second, and this might be even more important, is scent. Night-blooming plants release these super powerful perfumes that basically create a fragrant landing strip for moths to follow. So, if you want to create this effect yourself, you've got to start thinking like a moth. And that means you have to leave that whole rainbow of colors behind and focus on a very specific, almost monochromatic palette. Here is the key. Pure, crisp white is your absolute best friend. It reflects the most light, it creates the brightest glow. But don't forget the supporting cast. Silver foliage acts like 1,000 tiny mirrors, making the whole garden shimmer and shine even when the flowers aren't in full bloom. All right, you ready to build your own glowing garden? Let's talk about the superstars, the 5 essential plants that are going to form the backbone of any fantastic moon garden. First up, we have the undisputed queen of the night garden. Seriously, if you only plant one thing from this list, it has got to be the moonflower. And the magic here is totally real. This is a climbing vine, and it produces these enormous, pure white flowers that stay tightly furled all day long. But as the sun sets, they start to open, and sometimes it happens so fast, you can actually watch them unfurl. It's a breathtaking performance, and it releases this delicate, sweet, almost lemony scent into the evening air. Next, we have the most reliable member of the crew. This is a plant so punctual you could practically set your watch by it, the 4 o'clock. And yeah, these bushy little plants totally live up to their name. They open their flowers in the late afternoon, and they stay open all night long, ready to greet those evening pollinators. Just a little tip, be sure to get the white or the pale yellow varieties. They're going to have the most impact in low light. Now, if a powerful fragrance is what you're really after, then look no further. You have to meet the garden's master perfumer, the flowering tobacco. This plant is a true night owl. During the day, it actually looks a bit sleepy, kind of wilted. But at dusk, it does a complete 180. The flowers perk right up and release this intoxicating jasmine-like perfume that can carry 20 feet or more. And see that long tubular shape? That is perfectly designed for the long tongues of moths. For pure, unadulterated drama, you're gonna need a showstopper, and nothing fits that bill better than the incredible angel's trumpet. This is a large shrub, and it produces these massive, hanging bell-shaped flowers that look absolutely otherworldly in the moonlight. The scent is also incredibly potent at night. But, and this is a very, very important warning, all parts of this plant are poisonous if they're ingested. So please, plant this with extreme caution if you have curious pets or small children around. So we've focused a lot on the flowers, but the leaves are just as critical. The essential support crew for any moon garden is the silver foliage. These plants are your workhorses. We're talking about things like fuzzy lamb's ear, the bright and lacy dusty miller, or the airy Russian sage. They don't rely on blooms to contribute to the show. Their silvery leaves catch and scatter the moonlight, acting as this constant shimmering backdrop for your white flowers. They really tie the whole garden together. Okay, so now that you have your plants, let's talk about design. Because it's not just what you plant, but where you plant it that creates that full, immersive sensory experience. Keep 3 simple things in mind. First, location. Plant your garden near a patio or a window where that amazing fragrance can drift inside. Second, you have to embrace the darkness. Bright floodlights will just ruin that subtle glow and they'll confuse the moths you're trying to attract. And finally, think about adding a soundtrack. A small water feature, some wind chimes, or even just some tall, rustling grasses can engage all of your senses. And ultimately, this is really what it's all about. It's about creating a space for quiet observation. It's a reason to step outside, turn off the screens for a bit, and just connect with a part of nature that we so rarely get to see. So I encourage you to look at your yard after dark, not as an ending, but as a huge opportunity. Your garden's second act is about to begin. The only question is, what are you going to plant to make your own garden glow?